We are talking up some Ole Miss football. We got Jake Evans on the line from Rebel Walk. And Jake, let's look at this 2019 schedule. So every time I look at anybody's schedule, the first thing I think about is, okay, they play everyone in their division. We already know that. Who are they going to play in the other division? And then who are the big non-conference games? So for Ole Miss, of course, there's that Vandy crossover game that's always played, which I completely don't understand. But again, that's another conversation.
Yeah.
This year, that one's, yes, sometime in October. Then you've got a game against Missouri. So they're the team that comes through as the rotation out of the SEC Eastern Division. A couple games against Memphis and against Cal. You've seen Cal a few times here recently. And, of course, you see Memphis on a regular basis. And that's the opener. So what really stands out to you here?
Well, the first thing that stands out to me is Ole Miss did not do a very good job of picking cupcakes this year. They picked about the hardest cupcakes they could have figured out. But you know, if you're going to be the best, you got to beat the best. So I think it's, you know, they've got some good tests here early on in the year. Going to Memphis to start the year, playing in the Liberty Bowl is always hard. Ole Miss did not fare very well there a couple of years ago, last time they played there. So that'll be a big game to start the year. And then Arkansas the very next week, starting off SEC play. That'll be huge. Arkansas was down big last year. You know, Ole Miss beat them on the road in a sloppy game in Little Rock last year, but Arkansas has pulled a heck of a class this year, and you know, they're looking to have a big turnaround this year. After that, Southeastern Louisiana, don't know much about them. You know, that seems like one of those games. We pay them to come up here, but and then that Cal game is going to be huge. Cal, that's the second half of a home and home that we played in Cal, I guess, 2 years ago. So that'll be a big game. So the first 4 games of the year before, you know, we kick into a long SEC stretch that starts with Alabama. Those first 4 games are going to be huge. You know, the Rebs need to do their best to try and get 2 or 3 wins out of those before they hit that long stretch, because that was what killed them last year, was that they got some of those non-conference games out of the way and a few SECs here and there, but then they went into 6 or 7 straight SEC games, and that was just a backbreaker going down the end of the season. So, you know, they need to get a couple wins before they hit that long stretch there, and otherwise, you know, it could be a really long season.
Well, Jake, it depends on what the goal is. If the goal is to get to a bowl game, then that's 6-6.
Yeah.
So you need to go at least 3-1 non-conference. Let's say you trip up against either Memphis or Cal, then you're 3-1. You got to go 3-5 in the SEC. If you can sweep the non-conference, which you'll probably be a slight favorite across the board, even at Memphis, and then Cal at home, I would think you're a slight favorite. We'll see in that one. Cal beat you a couple years ago. They're coming off a bowl game. They've got a decent program on the rise with Jeff Tedford. But you sweep the non-conference, then you only have to go 2-6. And I know that people don't want to go 2-6 in the SEC, but I'm just trying to get you to 6 wins.
Right.
What do you think is realistic here?
Well, you know, a lot of people were down big time on us at the end of the season last year, saying that, you know, 4-8 was maybe the ceiling. But honestly, I think 6-6 is attainable. Memphis, that game, you know, Memphis is basically Oxford Junior. There's a huge fan base there, so that game will be packed out, even though the Liberty Bowl is, you know, always hard to play, and that'll be almost kind of a home game for the Rebs. And then we come back with 3 straight, those Arkansas, Southeastern Louisiana, and Cal. So, you know, I think 6-6 is very attainable, honestly, especially with New Mexico State later in the year. Missouri and Vandy kind of have been weaker in the last couple of years, but, you know, I think that 6-6 is attainable. I think that, you know, when we were at the end of the season and we didn't know what the coaching staff and the players were going to look like for next year, I thought that a lot of people were, you know, a lot more pessimistic about what this year was going to look like. But I think now with the new coordinators, a little bit more optimism and bringing some of these better players in this year in this class, I think that 6-6 is very doable.
Always enjoy the conversation on Ole Miss football. Jake Evans from the Rebel Walk. Please join him and the rest of the staff right there talking up Ole Miss athletics. Jake, we appreciate you stopping by.
Mark, thank you.